The following is a presentation of the Marconi Feed Podcasting Network. Marconi Feed Podcasting Network.
Originating from mfpod.com.
Hello?
Wait, hello. This isn't Nick.
No.
Wow, I like you. Are you the new Nick?
Probably.
Replacement Nick is here.
Pantalones gratis.
Con Marconi Bologna.
Esto es los pantalones libres de podcast. The Pants Free Podcast.
Pantalone Libero.
Hey, yes, this is the podcast without pants. And today, I'm in a bed by myself. Pants free. No, hey. It's Marconi, and sometimes Nick can't make it to the podcast, and so therefore we must soldier on. What are you going to do when you got a co-host who is very busy? Sometimes that happens. So I was thinking maybe I'll just start doing more podcasts by myself, and when Nick can join, cool, but when he can't, whatever, we'll just keep going, because that's how we roll. So I've got a microphone in my bed right now, which is not weird at all, right? I feel like I should not be laying down, but then there's another part of me that doesn't want to get up. So I hope you're enjoying all the podcasts, by the way. You can listen to all of them right here on mfpod.com or SoundCloud or Spreaker or Mixcloud, or I think we're coming to Stitcher. We're on iTunes. I don't know what this means, but we're new and noteworthy. What does that even mean? Is that on iTunes? If you click new and noteworthy and you scroll for a couple of days, you'll see us on there. I've never been new and noteworthy. I think that's pretty cool, right? Before we get started, I would like to thank Dave's Killer Bread for being a sponsor of the podcast, and they are kind of spreading their wings, and they're in Southern California, Northern California, they're in Seattle, and now they're going to Denver, Colorado. Yes, that is right. And all the stores there, I think they're in Safeway, they're in other places. Check out daveskillerbread.com. And Dave sent me a bunch of bread, and I've been away from the Dave's Killer Bread area, and I have missed it so much. He sent me a bunch of bread, and tonight I had a grilled cheddar and roast beast sandwich. And oh my God, it was so good. So since I left Portland, I had bread for a while, for a couple of months, and I'm like, it's just nothing compares to DKB. Nothing compares to Dave's Killer Bread. And finally, after like 9 months or so, I was like, God, I gotta. And so he sent me some, and then pow, and it was worth the wait. So if you're not in an area where you can get Dave's Killer Bread at the grocery store, you can always order it at daveskillerbread.com. So there you go. That's not a lie. It's coming from a guy. I met Dave because I loved his bread, and I liked his story on the side of the package, and I was like, I want to interview Dave. And I had no idea he did interviews or anything like that, or even the fact that he was a real guy at the time. And then I found out he was a real guy, and it was a real story, and it was all true, and he's awesome. And now we're friends. So, get Dave's Killer Bread, daveskillerbread.com, or at your local grocers.
Here is your late news roundup from the world and the nation.
Okay, I'm going to try to do my best to do pants-free news today. And the reason I say that is because, it's news stories that have been in the news, but I don't really pay attention to the news, and I'll tell you why. Most of the time, news is just like fills your life with nothing, and I found that when you don't pay attention to the news, life really doesn't change a whole lot. So I get my news off Twitter and the internets and stuff like that, and so sometimes I don't really know the stories because I don't read them all, and Nick usually peruses these and kind of knows what's going on, so he's kind of the expert in the news department. And I'll just tell you what I think about the things that I read in the headlines, and I don't even really know the stories. So I didn't see Bob Costas on Monday Night Football because I worked. His comments on Jovan Belcher's murder-suicide, I guess Ted Nugent and Bob Costas had words not against each other. Because, well, Bob Costas went on and talked about gun control and how it should be, there should be gun control in America. And Ted Nugent, I guess, flapped his yapjack about it. And Ted Nugent, of course, is very outspoken about gun rights and da-da-da-da-da. I don't know why we keep giving Ted Nugent a microphone, unless Ted Nugent, he used to be entertaining, but now he's just annoying. And Ted Nugent needs to just kind of realize that, hey, dude, you had Cat Scratch Fever and I think another song, and it's cool, but we don't really, what? I'm sure you're a great guy and stuff. No, I'm not sure you're a great guy. I don't have any clue. Just from what I can tell, you kind of won't shut up, and I'm kind of over it. So please, Bob Costas, he talked about gun control during the Sunday Night Football on NBC, causing some viewers to wonder why their nagging wife was on TV. And, just because Bob Costas is right about guns doesn't mean he knows anything about baseball. Well, here's a story I know nothing about, but here's a headline right here, the same. Nick Lachey, he was married to Jessica Simpson, right? He used to be a guy that people knew. He was in some boy band or something like that, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure Nick Lachey, he was the husband of Jessica Simpson one time, right? Okay. Is he still famous? Well, I don't know. It says he got kicked out of an NFL game after talking some smack. So I don't know. I don't have anything to say really about to react about Nick Lachey getting kicked out of a game. Okay, good. Is that news or something people talk? I guess I'm talking about it because it was reported on the internet, and I thought it was odd that it was being talked about because I don't really think Nick Lachey is legit or anything that would concern the world. But maybe he is. Maybe he's coming back, and we all need to know what Nick Lachey did over the weekend. And well, he's famous once, and people would know who he is if you say his name. So let's talk about him getting into it with some dudes at a football game. I don't know. May he rest in peace.
When news breaks, we're the first there to mark it.
But calm down. Nobody's taking over the internet is a headline on Gizmodo. And I didn't read this one either. I glance over these things, and then I expect Nick to be the fact checker. And when he doesn't come on the podcast, I don't bother because I am not a newsman. I do the news because this is what I used to do on the radio with Nick. And when he's not here, it is not my favorite thing, but it's okay. News is, people want to know. So I guess there's something going on the internet where somebody once again is trying to take over content, trying to pass some laws, and it's not gonna. It won't. Will it happen? If it does happen, we're not even supposed to live past the 21st of December, so it'll be okay. So let it. Who cares? And I always say, if the rules and regulations are awful and strict, and the internet is done, I think it has to do with certain things like music and stuff like that. I don't know, but they keep threatening the internet all the time, and they haven't been successful yet, so why would it happen now? And if it did, we've had a good run for a few long years and a lot of wasted hours of our lives. So maybe it's time we get back to focusing on stuff like going outside and talking to people in person. I don't know. May the internet rest in peace. From the Onion Radio News, UPS reports troubling drop in residents answering doors in lingerie. Well, that's not true. I answer my door in lingerie all the time, especially when I'm ordering pizza. Maybe it's just I don't order a lot of things for UPS. It's usually FedEx or the United States Postal Service because they have that thing, if it fits, it ships. If it fits, it ships. Why would I pay an outrageous sum of money if I can just put it in a box and shove that in there for $5? And it's only 5 to 7 business days, sometimes 8, but that's okay because if it fits, it ships. Oh, here's another news story. John Travolta is being sued by another alleged gay lover who said, "I never agreed to keep secrets." I don't know. Is John Travolta gay? I don't care. Why do people keep having to hold things over his head? His wife seems to be cool with it. Maybe she's paid off too. I don't know. Who really cares? John Travolta seems like a nice guy. I mean, didn't he have a son die? Isn't that enough? Do people keep badgering the guy? Has he murdered anyone? No. Is he stolen from anyone? No. Is he flying his own planes on the daily? That's crazy. Why does he do that? I don't know. But I know one thing. I watched him on David Letterman one time, and I thought he was nice. So he probably is. And that is my opinion on John Travolta. I watched him in Grease. I watched him in Pulp Fiction. And I may have seen an episode or two of Welcome Back, Kotter on Nickelodeon once or twice. And I thought he was an actor.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
Well, thank God that's over.
Yeah. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine.
Okay, see, there's the Pants Free Podcast. And I hope Nick is, I don't know, he seems to be very busy. So that's going to be our new policy. I'm just going to keep doing podcasts. And if Nick is here, then yay. If not, then, well, we'll just do one without him. And if you'd like to be on the Pants Free Podcast, you can always contact us anytime on our Facebook, Twitter, or just come over and find me in my bunker here at the Pants Free Podcast Pavilion. What if there was a pavilion? There's not a pavilion. So until next time, this is Marconi for the Pants Free Podcast saying, Pantalone Libero. The Pants Free Podcast brought to you by Dave's Killer Bread. To find out where you can purchase Dave's Killer Bread for yourself, check out daveskillerbread.com. And just say no to bread on drugs.
The Marconi feed.